Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of That's So Funny. Episode, I don't know, 431. uh, Today's Thanksgiving, I believe. If you're listening to this, I'm already dead. No. Happy Thanksgiving if that's what you celebrate, unless you're one of those people that are all, colonization and Indians and all. Okay, then I'm sorry I even mentioned it. But yeah, if you're celebrating with your families, if you're going out of town, whatever, be safe. You have a good time, etc., etc. Uh, I was thinking of what to talk about today, and I'm sure everyone's talking about the meaning of Thanksgiving and or like the negative effects of it or what it means to be a colonizer. Or, I don't know, all the negative stuff or the positive stuff. I was going to talk about this movie that I watched last night with my niece. She really wanted to watch it, and I guess just get my thoughts on it because she watched it on YouTube, and some of the it's an anime. Some of the things on YouTube, like if it's a whole movie, it's chopped up or it's not good of quality or whatever. So we found a copy of a movie called A Tree of Palm, and this is apparently an anime from 2002. I think by the same director who did Akira. I think so, if I'm not mistaken. But he wanted to do an original story based on the old tale of Pinocchio, which, in my opinion, Pinocchio, well, all those like older stories, and I'm talking about the Disney renditions. They're kind of boring, and I'm not into them. Like Dumbo, uh fucking Pinocchio, Snow welcome to the stream. Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, even though the villain's even more interesting than that. Cinderella's okay, but I'm saying like these these old tales that I all I know of is from Disney are kind of boring. So when I heard, or my niece told me, oh, it's based off of Pinocchio, I'm like, Pinocchio's really low tier as far as Disney movies go. I was never into it. It just didn't diddle my daddle. But we watched this anime. It was essentially a telling of the Pinocchio story, but it was set in like a like a I don't know, like a Mad Max future where the rich were in silks and they were kind of like pedos, Joe and the poor were just in shacks and rags, and it was real dusty. It was like a world, like creatures that looked like ocean creatures, but in a world full of dust. Like floating plants that looked like jellyfish, or tree. There were even trees that had like robot parts in them because they were grown from the ground. And they had oil in them that was tree sap that they used as like I don't know, oil to like light their candles and shit like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, so the story is about this man who had a sick wife. He makes a robot puppet to take care of her and to kind of be her son, and he's always bringing her flowers and shit because he's got that younger mindset. And then she ends up dying out of some sickness that they don't explain. She's trying to find this oil that's magical, apparently, that I don't know if it could heal her, or she's just looking for it, like she's pursuing it. But she dies. The Pinocchio robot kind of like shuts down because it doesn't know what to do, because that was like his only objective in life, was to take care of this sick woman. And years later, he finally like reawakens because he hears her voice uh in some sort of like ghost that's haunting the world or whatever, like a machine ghost, almost like a projection, but it's killing people pretty rowdy for some reason. And so the puppet goes on this quest, and the whole time he's kind of like, I'd say retarded. Like he's very like just set on that quest, and so for some reason he has in his head, if I complete a quest of getting this seed that's in my body because I'm part wood down to this underground world that's below the roots, I will become a real boy. And so he meets some people along the way, some little monkey kids, uh, an older kid named Shad. I think his name's Shad. It's like Chad, but it's not. Who's apparently from that world too, and the ghost woman is his mother also, but the ghost mother is not Pinocchio's mother. And his name's not Pinocchio. His name's Palm. But the ghost is not his puppet's mother, but it has a projection that looks like her. So he thinks the ghost is his mother when it's not. It's actually the other kids. Anyway, long story short, he him and then like that kid, those two monkey kids, and then another little girl that has a mother that treats her like shit because the mother's all old, thinks the daughter's trying to be more attractive than her, even though it's like a little girl. And it's so weird. It's like a lot of parental issues, right? So they end up getting underground, and Pinocchio's like learning to be human. Pinocchio, Palm, the puppet, he's learning to be human, and he slowly becomes more and more of a piece of shit. And you start hating him, but then you understand, oh wait, he's just becoming more human. Like that's why he's being over emotional or being mean or being he's projecting everything he's seen from the world like a child, at least in my eyes, and that's what's making him human. Is being an asshole. So it's like, why would you even want to be human? And so at the end, that little girl that's with him kind of falls in love with him, even though the little kids, both of them, at least the puppet is in kid form. He gets the seed down there. We find out that robot mother had her own parental issues where her father was going to leave her to die, and she ended up not being left behind because she pleaded with her dad to not leave her behind. And then her dad almost died, but she saved him. And he got so pissed off that he was saved by his daughter rather than his sons that he left her behind. And very machismo shit, right? So it was just a lot of parental issues where it's like you have the father going down to the daughter, and then that bleeding down to the sons. And it's just the whole like it makes me, it gives me vibes of my own parental issues where like I loved my mother a lot, and she could do no wrong, and I would do anything for her, kind of like be her puppet. And then it ended up being a point where it's like, no, I have to live my own life. I'm not I'm not like, I don't know. And then she just like took too much of my oil. No, I don't know. She just treated me is too abusive to where it's like, nah, this isn't right. I need to leave. But yeah, that's what I gathered from the film is try to be a better parent. Try, try to stop the cycle, because the cycle will just continue from parent to child, and then parent to child, and then parent to child. It'll never stop. And you can argue the whole idea of nature versus nurture, but nurturing has a lot to do with it, and being a parent to a child and growing them up in that environment to where it determines what kind of person they'll be. And I could easily be a shitty person Not that I'm not a good person. I always say that I'm not a good person, but I could easily be a shitty, just piece of shit person, and then say, "Oh, it was my mom. My mom was abusive. My mom treated me this way, so I'm gonna treat everyone else that way." And I don't feel like it should be that way. I feel like, um, yeah, you should find a way to break the cycle, and like that Stain song. I don't know how that Stain song goes. I know, it's been a while that I again. It's been a while. I just remember just the way you taste. Everything I can't remember. Yeah. Maybe the album was called Break the Cycle. I think the album was called Break the Cycle. I'm mistaken. But then they could have a song off of that. But yeah, um, that was a Tree of Palme. Uh, I don't know if you're really into anime. I would look it up, but it was kind of long. At two, yeah, it was 2 hours and 10 minutes. It was like a long anime, and then it didn't even like answer everything that you wanted answered throughout the whole thing. But I think it's interesting of an anime to bring out these emotions, and my niece and I talked about it, so I thought I would talk about it here. The whole idea of nature versus nurture and parental issues, and how uh they can just keep going and going and going and bleeding down from heritage to heritage. And then that too, it's about this huge tree, and then roots, and you have your family trees and the roots you're grown in. So I don't know, there's a lot of symbolism there to me, with with that shit. But yeah, that was a Tree of Palm from 2002. Check it out wherever you can find it. I don't know. I think we watched it on the nationalarchive.com or something, where you can kind of watch it, quote unquote. But yeah, I want to thank you for listening to That's All Funny. It's available anywhere podcasts are available. Video I have up exclusive on my Twitter at Lorenzo Ariola. If you want to just watch me talk talk in person, for whatever reason, the audio is available everywhere else. Again, if you want it earlier, check out the Patreon. You get the audio earlier, typically a day early. You get bonuses there as well. YouTube will be back up probably, but it's just the podcast itself. There's no video there or anything, but there's other videos too. Check me on YouTube. Um, yeah, and check out the website retrohorrorinc.com for merchandise, or if you just want to visit some great art from a great artist, at Retro Horror Inc. on Instagram. Hit him up. But yeah, I want to thank you for listening to me talk about an anime on Thanksgiving. I want you to have a great holiday. Be safe. Don't eat any raw turkey. Make sure it's cooked. I don't know, what is it, an hour per pound or something. And yeah, be safe. And we'll be back tomorrow to talk about regular bullshit that the news media wants to propaganda left. Peruvian Grove. I don't know. Bovada. Thank you. Be safe. Take care. Bye.
I need